Well, I just finished turning this red oak platter. It's interesting. Had one failure. It came off when I was removing the tenon. Other than that, I screwed up the chainsawing quite a bit, so I had to fix it. And I think you'll find it sort of interesting. Everybody screws up, but I sort of have a reputation of fixing all my screw ups. And so far, I've been able to do it. I don't recall having to throw anything away yet. This probably should have been about that deep. By the time I got done, it ended up being a platter instead of a bowl, but it turned out nice. Mostly sapwood. The heartwood was just sort of, it's on the other half of the log, I guess. So we'll get around to it after a while. All right, thanks a lot, and keep watching. What we got right here is a big old red oak crotch. Pretty sure it's red oak. It's been sitting out here a year or so in the weather. And I'm gonna attempt to split it right down through here. It's got all, I guess those are mushrooms of some sort. I don't know what they are, but it looks like it's, oh yeah, let's see. You're looking at probably 15 inches at the widest point. You're looking at 16. Man, go down all the way. You're looking at close to 19 to 20 inches that way. And from here, that's the only place you can use it. So you're looking at 14. So you probably can get a nice 12-inch bowl out of it time all is said and done. So I've got it sitting right here, and I'm going to try to cut it this way. That's going to be nice, isn't it? A nice bowl out of this right here. So I'm going to take this over here and mess with it over the bandsaw. Well, I decided I'm going to turn this one, starting today. It's got this real bad place here where the chainsaw got down there, but the time I get down there, I figure I can probably fix it. You guys know me. If it's fixable, I'll fix it. So I'm going to go ahead and anchor seal this one and set it aside for my grandson, or maybe I'll turn it later. But I've got her clamped down now pretty good. I got it started. I deliberately, I want the bottom as fast as I can. I can turn this off, so it's a slow process. Okay, I'm going to come in here on the back side first, try to get some of this cut down. The only places right here I'll probably cut below that one, but I got this, and I would just have to fix it. But that ain't no big deal. And I'm going to turn it as fast as it'll go. I don't know how fast that is. I whirled it up earlier, and it wanted to bounce pretty bad. There you go. And it started bouncing there, you go, whoa, back off. Yeah, better than I thought. That's 475 right there. Let's see what we can do with it. That's some pretty rough turning there, guys. All right, I got the back side done. I'm going to start working this corner off right here. Rough looking, isn't it? Ooh, that is going to be pretty. A lot of spalting in that. If I can get it smooth, that is. It'll punky right in there. I think it'll work. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fit this on for my tenon. I'm going to do a recessed tenon. In other words, I'll come from here and go into it. What I'm going to do while I'm thinking about it, you need to leave the center dot right in there, because later I'll be flipping it around to cut that off. Maybe, I'm not sure yet, but it's a whole lot easier if that dot's there. And all you got to do is come up here and go boom. There you go. That's it. It's there. All right, I'm done turning the bottom. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, I call it a palm sander, some people call it a butterfly sander. It's a version of a DA. I've got 80 grit on here, and I'm going to sand it the best I can now, and then I'm going to come back with my real fine dust and sealer, and do my thing there. Let it set overnight, and I'll sand it again tomorrow. So let's do it. Awful wet right there. That sort of bothers me. I mean, it's wet. Wet. about 63%. I mean, that's wet. Compare it to right here. That's 38, 47. Whole thing's pretty wet. Probably gonna warp like a big dog. And I may have to do all this over again, depending on how bad it works tonight. So this right in here looks pretty good. Got a few little wormy places, but that's okay. They sort of add character. You don't need to add any dust there. Okay, right in this area, I'm going to have to add a little treatment to it. If some of you hadn't seen me do it before, that's the way I do it. I use the finest stuff I've got and just do it like this. This happens to be Osage orange, but it never changes. Let me try it again. It never stays the same color. Osage orange will brown in time. Okay. So so I did that right there. And I like to, sort of dab it a little bit more. And I'll let that dry to tomorrow, and it'll be as hard as a rock. Over here, that probably just needs sealer there. The sealer penetrates and it hardens it quite a bit. Especially when I put some around my tenon. All right, That ought to get it. I realize there's that red inside. That'll get it. Okay, guys. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. I gotta go see the dentist in the morning. No fun. Bye. Well, it's the next day. I had this little, get it up here, show it to you. Has a little heater on it, on low, all night long. Well, a long night and a half a day, I guess. And so I came out this morning, I turned it on, and first thing I did was whirl it. And it just barely worked. And I'm looking at it, I have no cracks. So I take my little meter, and if you remember right, I didn't write it down, but I'm thinking it was like 60-something% moisture up in this area here. And it, you know, it was like 30-something everywhere else. So right here, can't get it to read. Right there. All right. Hold. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's the exact same spot, 10%. So we go down here to a spot that was in the 30s. And we're going to, and we're at, and in the hole. You're not doing what I told you. Okay, hold. What's that hold? There you go. Let's hold it down for a moment. We got 2.7. I don't almost believe that reading. Try it again. All right, that's more gooder there. Hold. 10.6. So we went from 60s to 30s down to 10%. That is amazing, with very little warpage. So this just, it just may be the way to do it, my friends. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and sand it, and, get this all sanded down. Go back to my 80 grit and sand it, and then I will put the tenon on and flip it around, finish hauling the inside out, and I guess we can color this puppy done. So, let me get the sanding done. No sense in you guys watching that. And before I flip it, I'll bring it back and show you what it looks like. All right, it's all sanded, and I got one coat of sealer on it. And what I'm gonna do is I put my little heater back on it, and I'm gonna rotate it as slow as I can go. Which is right about there. Just go down just a little. Okay, I'm at 60 RPM. That's the slowest this thing to go. So I'm going to let that do that for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm going to come in and put another coat on it. I may hit it with 320 again and then put the coat on it, because if I sand it through the old sealer anywhere, this sealer will raise the grain again. And so, I'll have to sand that down. So I'll come in here and take some 320 by hand, sand it down, then I'll put another coat on it, and we'll go through this again. Then we'll flip it. All right, it's pretty dry now. Well, not pretty, it is dry. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and clean up this tenon a little bit. I don't think it's got enough angle anyway. I used a 5/8 gouge to do that with, and just didn't get the angle I want. Plus, probably got some places in it, from the sawdust or shavings. Feels pretty rough in a couple spots. So I'm just going to clean that up real fast. It won't take but a minute. It may be just, wait a minute. Just a little low. Let's see. That's it. This one just gouges a little on the dull side. It may work for this. It may be all right. See what we got here. Can always sharpen it. Well, sharpening it ain't my fun thing to do. What we can do here real quick. Ooh. Slow down, Betsy. Alright, that looks pretty good. That looks better. I really don't like a small tenon for a big bowl. I always like to use a live center it like so. It's on here like that. Come in here like that. There we go. That's actually a pretty good fit. Always put the live center in for a while. I think the beaver might work better for this if I can get it in here. Yeah, it will. There you go. That's all it is to it. See what it looks like now. Oh, you see the difference? I mean, that is our tool Mark 1. Somebody on one of the other videos talking about an 80 grit gouge, and they're talking about 80 grit sandpaper, and to sand it about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch to get rid of all the tool marks. Well, my reply was, a real good turner don't leave hardly any tool marks. I'm not saying I'm a real good turner, I'm just saying that if you've got a bunch of deep old tool marks, you're doing something wrong. You use the wrong tool, or you're not doing a good job, one or the other. It looks pretty nice. A little thicker right here, but remember I did a recessed tenon, so I wanted a little more right here. So let's get some And we'll get that cleaned up and sealed, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the heater on it all night again. Well, it's been a couple of days. I had to have a tooth cut out yesterday. My wife wouldn't let me come out here. So I just whirled it up. I haven't checked it with the meter yet, but we can do that. And it's surprisingly, it's worked very little. Let's see. Check for cracks. I'm sand that a little bit. Superficial cracks here, they got sealer in them. All right, all I gotta do is sand this little fix I did yesterday, and then we'll flip it around and I'll get the tenon off. All right, it's time to take this off and flip it around and get the wrong way as usual. There's two ways. I'm gonna do the wrong way every time. A little bit more. There you go. Ain't much of a tenon. I could almost sand that off. So I'm gonna open this up a little better. I always leave the chuck on like that. Then I come in here with a piece of this kitchen shelving, this rubber stuff. And do you remember I said to leave a spot in the center of that tenon? Well, now you're going to see why. So, there we go there. So you want to bring this, put your live center in, bring it right into there. Put this into here, and we know it's worked. Where'd it go? Yeah, somebody move the handle. So we're going to go right there with it. It shouldn't be too much trouble taking that off. I want to see what's causing this to bounce. And it looks like it's got a bad spot right there. All right. Anytime they start bouncing, you best be wise to stop it and take a look. Well, shoot. I was just getting ready to say, don't turn it fast because it puts a lot of stress on it. And then the nub broke. And it scarred the hell out of it right there. Oh, well. Wasn't for things like this hobby wouldn't be no fun, would it? But that's a fixable. That's just one little spot right there, which I think I can get by with. Just when I sand this, I'll just hit this a little bit, and we'll be done. So let me get this sanded and put a little more sealer on it, and let it rest a while, and we'll come back and I'll have to hand sand it a little bit. I like to do that. All right, it's all finished with all the trials and tribulations per se. I ended up not buffing it. This wood's just a little too porous for that. So I sprayed it with poly. I think it looks pretty nice, nice tray. My method got it nice and dry. It doesn't appear to be just a little work, not too much, but I don't expect it to work much more. Turned out nice. That way you can see it there. I'll take a couple stills, put on at the end. So I enjoyed it. Nice to be back turning again. I'm getting ready to do it. My next video is going to be, I'm going to address beginners. I've got it all planned out in my head how I'm going to do it, so I'll be doing that shortly. So subscribe, tell your friends, whatever, those interested in wood turning or those who just want to watch something different. I appreciate you, and call your mama.